Lake Fure is a lake of glacial origin situated to the northwest of Copenhagen. It is one of the biggest in Denmark, covering up to 940 hectares, and the deepest one, reaching 37 meters of depth. The lake is owned by the Ministry of the Environment and is administered by the Copenhagen State Forest. From a geological point of view, the lake originated about 10 to 12,000 years ago, when, after the last glaciation, the ice retreated and left behind a system of lakes, of which Lake Fure is the most important one. From a geographical point of view, the lake can be split into two parts. The main part, which averages 16 meters of depth, and the east part, which is much more shallow, which averages 2.5 meters. This part is very important because it houses an extensive system of reed beds, which are very important for bird life. Along the shores of the river, there is a system of wetlands, marsh and meadows, which is called Vaseane, which is also very important for bird life. The lake is part of the Natura 2000 network and is both a special area of conservation and a special protection area. The lake was also famous for having the highest number of submerged plants in the north of Europe, and also very clean waters. The value of the lake was documented by 100 years of studies by Danish biologists. Since the beginning of the 20th century, though, the growing towns around the lake started discharging sewage into it. Therefore, the enrichment of nutrients in summer caused the water to turn green and muddy due to algal blooms. 5 main threats to the lake can be identified, and they are high biomass of phytoplankton, high biomass of planktivorous fish, impact on habitat and species of submerged plants, lack of oxygen in the hypolimnion, and high levels of internal phosphorus on the bottom of the lake. Frederiksborg Commune, together with the EU, decided to undertake a restoration program to bring back the lake to its former natural state. The program took place between 2003 and 2006 and involved mainly two aspects, which are biomanipulation and oxygenation of the hypolimnium. The main objective of the restoration was to obtain clear waters and to reinstate a good diversity of the submerged plant species. Biomanipulation involved the catch of about 213 tons of fish, with roach and smaller bream as the dominating species. A positive change in the composition of fish species has been achieved, with a shift to a higher percentage of piscivorous fish, mainly perch. The condition of submerged plants has also improved. Both the number of species and their depth limit has increased. Oxygenation has been performed using pumping oxygen to the bottom of the lake every year from June to November. About 2,000 tons of oxygen have been pumped during 4 years. However, 10 years are regarded as necessary. Mainly the results of oxygenation have been improved oxygen condition at the bottom of the lake and reduced phosphorus release at the bottom of the lake. The project has been highly promoted since the start, and it showed some success in positively changing the fish and submerged plants population and decreasing the phosphorus load. However, clear water have not been achieved yet, and there have been algal blooms in 2006. It is too early to conclude that Fursu really got rid of its environmental problems. Although the improvements of the lake have been significant over the last 20 years, they have not been stable for a long enough period of time. Fursu is part of the Natura 2000 network and as such is subject to special protection against degradation. It may therefore, for prudential reasons, not be advised to stop the oxygenation, although the effect on surface water quality is apparently limited. The lake is, because of its long residence time, not yet in balance with the reduced input of nitrogen and phosphorus. If the oxygenation is stopped anyway, it has been recommended that monitoring be increased so that the effect becomes extensively described and analyzed. The last Fure municipality report recommends that the oxygenation plant is maintained into operation so that oxygenation may be resumed if deemed necessary. In the upcoming season, there is, in addition to water chemistry, also analysis on the population of plants and fish, so that it will be possible to assess the development of the conditions in the lake. In particular, the fish survey will show whether the stocks have fallen back to previous great dominance of bream and roach, and it will then be reasonable to reconsider the scope for action and especially whether to repeat or supplement the manipulation carried out. Experience from Furusu and from abroad clearly indicates that the only way to achieve a stable, enhanced water quality, whether both chlorophyll, phosphorus, and nitrogen be stable, is by reducing external load. Overall, the project shows lights and shadows. While many achievements have been done, the stable conditions have not been achieved yet. Therefore, further monitoring will be necessary and possibly further interventions.